All right, well, let's go ahead and start. I put an ad on the general channel just to remind people. Hello, Daryl. I just put an ad on the general channel to remind people of this because we've been planning it for a long time, and perhaps we didn't do enough advertising leading up to the actual kickoff date, but we'll see. Today we're not going to really do any work. It's just a kickoff meeting, maybe organizational. The idea of this is maybe some people will be disappointed, but we're not really offering an expert guided class in reinforcement learning, but we're trying to bring together people who are interested in reinforcement learning and maybe know something about it, maybe don't. And this study group is basically going to be a joint effort among all of us to try to learn something about reinforcement learning, and we're going to focus on the Sutton and Bartow book. So we've planned that each Sunday we'll get through a part of the book. I think it's a chapter, but if you let's see, I can put the link to our schedule on Slack just to remind you of that. And in that schedule, it's a chapter every week. That's what I'm seeing here. So let me share this thing in case you don't have it handy. Put it into the channel. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, I just dropped the schedule into our Slack group. I'm going to, just in case people don't know what that is, well, obviously you do or you wouldn't be here, but maybe you don't. It's the RL_2021 Slack channel. And I just put the schedule in there. And I will share the schedule now. I'll have a look at it. Let's see if I can get my Zoom controls working. There. Okay. Okay, do you see the schedule? I'm sharing it. Can somebody see the schedule?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, so the meetings are 10 to 12 a.m. Sundays. That's the time we've designated. Today's organizational, and then we'll just try to go through this chapter a day. Maybe some chapters might take two Sundays to cover. I've allowed for that. And we'll just sort of march through this book and see how far we get. As you can see, the lead is there's not complete coverage for the lead and the co-lead. So and this schedule is editable. So please jump in and sign up for any sessions that you feel like you want to lead after you've familiarized yourself with the book a bit. You can see which ones you might want to lead. What I'm hoping is that there will be some of us who are already knowledgeable about reinforcement learning, and that they will volunteer to lead us. And I think we already have one here, Mayank. Mayank has done some study of reinforcement learning, and he's willing to take the lead on some of the sessions. Is that so, Mayank?
Yeah. That's a bit of research too. So
yeah, great. All right. Yeah, so maybe we can go through and maybe we can go around just quickly and see some of the faces are new. Some of you have been on some of the other study groups, but maybe we can just go around the table and see who we have and where you're coming from, what's your background, and what's your interest in reinforcement learning. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start with, well, I'll start with you, Mayank, since you're up on the top left of my screen.
Yep. Hi guys, I'm Mayank. as alluded to just by Joseph, I have a knack towards reinforcement learning. Uh, Maybe in a few years, I may plan to do uh, a PhD in this field. So I'm completely into the how do we say it, the latest and the greatest in this field, coupled with the reinforcement learning theory too. So yeah, we can geek about this on the channel or here. Thanks.
Let's see. So Mark Webb, I'm just going around a raster scan of my Zoom panel. So Mark. Hi there.
Okay. Hi, yeah. Okay, my name is Mark Webb. I work for the Met Office in the UK, the Weather and Climate Centre. I'm co-founder of our reinforcement learning and machine learning community at the Met Office. I'm currently working through Satnam Barto myself, so I just came across this group literally about 20 minutes ago.
Wow.
So I just made it in. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to mainly just sit in and listen today because I'm just actually cooking dinner for my family. but yeah, so sorry, it's chaotic, but literally I only just heard about this 20 minutes ago. But yeah, very interested to see how it pans out. I did actually have a question. Is it how much time do you envisage people having to put in during the week? I mean, my experience looking at the book is that there's no way I could cover the material in an hour. So is the idea that people study independently during the week and then we get together for an hour just to discuss any issues we have?
Well, yeah, I think let's see, I was thinking, and it's probably not realistic, to do this the way we've done previous study groups, which is to meet for an hour and everybody just read silently, and then for another hour we discuss. But maybe there's too much material for that. And so maybe if you read during the week for an hour and then you have another hour at the beginning of the meeting, maybe that 2 hours would be enough to prepare to get through the material for a chapter. But some people don't like the format for meeting and then just reading silently and then talking, because they say, well, I can do this on my own. But other people say, well, it's like going to the gym with your friends, right? It's like it kind of gives you a kick in the pants to do it when you might not have done it on your own. And I know I'm like that. So that kind of format has worked well for me. So I think we'll continue maybe a hybrid where you read some during the week and then we'll have some time at the beginning of each meeting for reading 1 hour, and then we'll discuss for another hour. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, I've been in a similar study group in the Met Office, and I found the discussion part was really helpful, just because sometimes there would be something I couldn't really get a good intuition for. Someone else in the group would be able to explain it maybe better. So that's the big benefit for me. So that sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mark. Anirudh, did I say your name right?
Yes, you said it right. So
Anirudh, welcome.
I mean, I've done a master's in machine learning, probabilistic machine learning, and I have a decent enough knowledge about reinforcement learning and a lot of machine learning too. I have worked as a software engineer and a research engineer in Amazon, building their SageMaker product. SageMaker is their ML service product. I'm also an Apache committer on Apache MXNet. Apache MXNet is a deep learning framework. I was just curious about this community and what they were trying to do with this reading group. And I thought I would get on the call and see what's happening.
That's terrific. And the fact that you already know some reinforcement learning will be great for us if you'll, if you'll be able to join the discussions and help us to clarify the material, and maybe even volunteer to lead some of the discussions.
So I'll put up my name for some of the sessions.
Great.
So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Anirudh. I should mention that I've made the schedule editable only in the columns for lead and co-lead. You can, I think in the columns from D across, I think you can edit. So you can add your name if you feel like you want to lead a session.
Okay.
Oh, I see
Just
Anirudh has added, yeah. Yes.
Just one more is
Sure.
in the topic column, right? It goes chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. It would be very helpful if at least you added a column or just added the chapter name there, because it would prevent us from going cross-checking from the certain part of the book and then coming back what topic we are signing up for.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll add the names.
Chapter title, if it's there, it would be great.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, next, Yuri, you're a familiar face. Hi.
Hi. Hello, I'm Yuri. I've participated in other study groups on TWIML. I've done some reinforcement learning before, but I'm not currently doing it. So I'm kind of actually like not 100% sure I'm gonna like follow the class completely, because I can't do it on all the Sundays, but I'll try to join whenever I can.
Super. Let's see, Renato. Hello.
Hi. Well, I'm from Brazil. I live in São Paulo. I'm also participating in the deep learning study group with you, with some of the guys here. My background is on research in digital signal processing and also machine learning. I also work with consulting and teaching. And I've worked a bit with reinforcement learning for a project involving dynamic pricing during a data science bootcamp. But I'd like to study in a more formal way, and I think this is a great opportunity. Nice to meet you all.
Welcome. So Renato, a question, what time zone are you in Brazil?
I'm 4 hours ahead PDT.
Okay, so 4 hours. So it's GMT -8, or I'm sorry, GMT -4?
Minus 3. Here.
Oh, that's right, because we're in daylight. So
yeah,
GMT -3. Okay, so sometimes, I think of the map of the Americas in my brain, and I forget how far to the east parts of Brazil are. So they're farther east than any parts of the US.
Yeah,
so
I think we're 2 hours ahead New York time.
Okay, thank you, Renato, and welcome. Alan Coppola.
My name's Alan, and I'm in Portland, Oregon. I did some work last summer on a reinforcement learning project for advertising, basically for mail. And I'm looking to extend the work that I've been doing in quant finance to reinforcement learning. So I figured this would be a good idea to get some background. And
so you work in quant finance?
Yeah, I mean, it's a venture that I've been working on for a few years now. It's called hotchilianalytics.com, and we have like a quant platform that we're working on, and I'm really interested in seeing if I can apply some ML to it. There's even an open source thing going on called what is it? RL for finance or something like that. And So I'm looking at trying to install that and see if anything works with it. But as anyone knows anything about quant, it's not that easy. It's, if it was that easy, I wouldn't be here talking to you. That's the way, that's
Well,
pretty much the way it works.
I heard that there's a open source software, not open source, but public domain software that allows you to build some kind of a I don't know what they call this, a trading agent. You can build a trading agent, and they give you like $1 million of free money to play with, and you can train your trading agent, your reinforcement learning trading agent, and then you can see if you made money and so on. You can test different policies and strategies and see if you made money. So that would be kind of an ideal training gym for learning RL, I think.
Yeah. There's some stuff like that. We're training agents and things like that. Yeah. So that's my interest is see if I can learn some things about reinforcement learning, and at the same time apply it to the finance world.
Super. Well, welcome. Next, Pete Strangley.
Hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm a student. I've been doing machine learning maybe for a year now. I've not done any reinforcement learning, but I'm particularly interested in it, especially like for my own excitement, I guess, which is in the field of games and teaching it games. So like cellular autonoma kind of sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to the study group. I've not done these before. And I'm very, I don't know, in my experience, I prefer having groups to talk to bounce ideas off of each other. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Basically, the study group it just provides an infrastructure for people to keep themselves at it, keep themselves at learning something that they want to learn. And, we'll be here every week, and we'll have, we'll progress through the book, and we'll have discussions, and the discussions tend to be, sometimes you can learn a lot from them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Fantastic, thanks.
Welcome, Pete. That's terrific. Let's see, next we have Mahan Aga Zahedi. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I've said your name wrong.
Absolutely right.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Mahan. I'm an undergrad student at Stony Brook, based in New York. And I plan to go to grad school, and I'm really interested in machine learning. And last summer, I had a friend that she had a project doing deep reinforcement learning. And actually, she recommended me the book, and I plan to study the book individually. And then, because I'm a fan of the podcast, I've been listening to the podcast, and then receiving the emails, and I surprisingly saw that you guys are going to do the study group this time based on this book. So I was just ready to jump in.
So this is the same book that your friend was using?
Yes.
Great. Oh, well, welcome. So now we have two students here. Mahan, are you actually majoring in machine learning right now?
I'm a double major in applied math and electrical engineering, but for grad school, that's the direction I want to go, machine learning. So
that's a great double major, I think. Yeah, tough too. Let's see, Apurva Dorai. Did I say your name right?
Oh yeah, he did. It's Apurva.
Apurva.
I'm a master's student in data science in Northeastern. I'm currently interning, and I'll be interning for the next. I'll be starting another intern for the summer. I've been wanting to do the reinforcement learning, especially the book that was suggested for the study. And I wanted a bit of consistency when I'm doing it, so I thought I'll join the study group and follow along with the group as we progress. That's my goal, to actually finish the book and then probably work on a personal project in reinforcement learning. And that's the idea I had.
Apurva, which school are you at in your master's program? I missed that.
I'm at Northeastern University's Boston campus.
Oh, so there's a fellow who teaches on TWIML. Let's see, he teaches causal.
Robert Ness.
Yeah, Robert Ness.
Yeah, so that's actually how I found this group, because a senior of mine suggested that I go join the group and go through the groups study groups that were there. So I was part of the NLP research paper group for some time. I was just reading through some papers to understand certain things. But I guess after I took my deep learning class, I realized I wanted to do more on the reinforcement side, and that's the reason I wanted to start. I wanted to be part of this group.
That's terrific. Well, welcome. So another student and one who probably knows quite a lot. So have you taken the courses from Robert Ness?
Oh, not yet. So
Not yet.
I was supposed to take it this term, but I started interning and I couldn't.
Okay.
I hope to take it over the summer. So
yeah. Last question. What's your internship doing?
currently, I'm a data science intern at Ready Education, but for the summer, I will be moving to Amazon. Like the location is still not fixed, but right now that's the idea.
They won't let you work remotely?
I'm not sure because I've not got any word about whether it's going to be remote. Initially, it's supposed to be remote, but then people have started moving to the California offices as well as the Seattle offices. So I don't know what they have in mind right now.
I see. Well, good luck with that. Welcome to the group. Arto, another familiar face.
Hey everyone, my name is Arto, and yeah, I'm interested in reinforcement learning because I'm mostly doing like deep learning now, and my education is in control theory. So I was studying control systems for airborne vehicles. And since I graduated, like my what I'm working on diverged from what I studied somewhat, and I think of it as an opportunity to bring back some of those knowledge I had, and to connect deep learning with to look for connections between deep learning and control theory, maybe robotics and stuff like that.
Do you think that, sorry, Arto, do you think that RL has applications in flying? I mean, everybody's doing autonomous cars, but what about autonomous flying and autonomous boats? I mean, are there? Do you think they have? Is that much more difficult problem, or why do you think they haven't made a lot of progress on that?
First, very important limiting factor for applying any kind of machine learning to autopilots and stuff like that in aviation is requirements to how do I call it? So you need to satisfy very strong safety requirements. And that's very difficult with machine learning, right? Because you need some kind of provable failure rate and stuff like that. And I'm not sure what is the current state of deep learning in this area, application of in general machine learning into this area. But when I was studying, we studied machine learning and deep learning just as a sidekick, but no real application to the actual stuff was there because of this when you learn from data, you cannot be sure that in some boundary how your system will behave in boundary conditions. And for classic control systems, you can find this you can apply robust control, find the boundaries, and at least predict the behavior of your system at boundary conditions. And yeah, I'm really curious about what's new here. We can if there are some applications of some new ideas, which were not present when I studied it, and maybe we can find something interesting here.
Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought that. You talk about safety requirements being a problem with aviation, but safety problems are also a problem with ordinary traffic, and because of that, I would never have thought that the big tech companies would have gotten permission to do all this experiments with autonomous vehicles and so on, and yet they have. I guess the way they've approached it is they first built the autonomous vehicles without and ran them without humans in them, just ran them as robots, and then they learned from a lot of data and they got better to where you can trust them with humans in them. And I'm thinking that if they develop for aviation, that's the same route they're going to go. And maybe the first route is drone delivery services and so on, because that has, at least that can be mapped into traffic, the work that they've done with autonomous vehicles, because they're going to be following ordinary routes, ordinary roads and everything, just like the cars do. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, probably this unmanned aerial vehicles are much. There are much more liberty of what you can apply to that, and this probably will be where the things will be tried out. And on the other hand, autopilot for aerial vehicle is in some way much simpler than autopilot for cars, because of traffic is very different. There is no traffic in the sky as for now, at least, and you don't need to care about pedestrians and other vehicles. But on the other hand, current classic autopilot systems, so they rely heavily on some models of the vehicle, of the dynamics of the vehicle, and they are heavily optimized to encounter these dynamics. And there are probably if you know what Kalman filter is, it's basically, in 2 words, it allows you to merge the information from observations with the information which you expect to observe according to the dynamics of your systems. And I know that there are some applications of deep learning to produce neural Kalman filters, and that is one area which might be beneficial to any kind of that to this kind of problems. And also probably there is a lot more to it.
Yeah, I think once they get drone delivery systems working, the next, I think people are already working on this drone taxis with humans in them, right? I mean, the delivery services don't have to have humans. They just drop the package on top of your house or whatever. But but then drone taxis, and I think there's companies already working on that.
Yeah, actually, one of my professors who he's now working in some company. I think it's called Lyft. It's
LYFT.
I'm not
it's
sure.
the competitor for Uber, right? It's the one that competes with Uber.
or maybe no, maybe it's not that, but yeah. So what are they? One of at least what I saw, what are they working on? They're working on like flying cars, and that's actually like they have some plans so to produce something. It's the company is based in Germany, and yeah, so maybe I will like try to contact him and find out what do they do for autopilots and stuff like that, and what are their like industry perspective on that.
Very cool. Terrence, another familiar face.
Yeah, so I'm basically an IT professional responsible for database management and administration. I also manage a few applications, one being SolarWinds, don't laugh, and then in a finance system as well. Don't have any experience with reinforcement learning other than what the term kind of represents. And so I'm looking forward to the course.
Great. So I didn't laugh when you said SolarWinds, but I wonder what it is.
No, I'm laughing. They just had a huge SolarWinds just had a huge security breach.
What is SolarWinds?
In the news? It's a monitoring system that's used to monitor other systems and their performance issues and such. And what, a couple months back or a month back, they had a huge breach that actually impacted, I think, most of the world, to be honest.
Wasn't that, I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, Facebook had a huge breach, which impacted most of the world. I mean, I think
Yeah.
they lost 500, I forget, billions of records were released.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know, and you can check and see if you're compromised, I think. So.
Right. And in this case, SolarWinds is used a lot by our government, to be honest. So there was possibly some governmental systems that may have been touched as well. And I think they're still assessing it now.
SolarWinds, I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Well,
they're a
welcome,
huge company.
Terrence. Yeah. Welcome to the RL group then. That's great. Let's see, I'm just make sure I don't miss anybody. I got Saeed Amiri.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Saeed. I'm a PhD student in robot decision making. I'm based in upstate New York in SUNY Binghamton. And I work in robot decision making, mostly robot planning, which has some overlap with reinforcement learning. And like last year, I did one internship for ABB Robotics. It was about like how robot arms can grasp objects using only vision and using reinforcement learning algorithms. And also recently we had one paper in ICAPS conference about bridging planning and reinforcement learning. I'm also this semester I'm teaching to freshman students. It's a course about like engaging them in research and encouraging them to be involved in research. And also, most likely for my dissertation, I have to use some reinforcement learning techniques. And I'm glad to be in this group. I also joined the RL group last year, and that was also pretty good. We went through the David Silver's course, and yeah, so hope to see you guys more.
Is David Silver's course complementary or overlapping with the Sutton and Bartow book, or is it more modern? Or
I mean, I think there is some overlap in both, but at least like in terms of the steel, like I think the Sutton and Bartow book has more material to cover, but in terms, I don't think like Sutton and Bartow is talking about, I mean, maybe someone can correct me, I don't think it is talking much about deep RL, but like David Silver was also like talking about DQ and algorithms towards the last lectures of his course. But I think, yeah, probably like Sutton and Bartow's book cover like more material, I guess.
Okay. Okay, great. So, wow. So you've been through this before. You've been through a lot of this material before. So we'll hopefully be able to rely on you in these discussions.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you.
Make things clear. All right. Well, welcome, Said. Let's see. Priyank. next. Hello.
Hey, everyone, I'm Priyank. I'm currently in my 4th year of undergrad. So last year I was thinking of, going into deep reinforcement learning, but I kind of overwhelmed when I started it. And also there was some, I kind of lost interest, but I'm here to, to explore more and learn from your constructive discussions. Yeah, that's it.
Great, welcome, Priyank. Vishnu.
Hey, so I work at Credit Karma, and along with Saeed, I was also part of the reinforcement learning group that covered David Silver's course. So David Silver's course does cover, actually, I mean, I think David Silver brings up Rich Sutton's book as part of it. And I think the version 2 of the book, which is the newer one, does get into some amount of deep RL, whereas the version 1 did not get into, from what I remember. Yeah, I keep dabbling with like RL back and forth, and like we have some of it coming up at work as well. So really interested in figuring out some of the theory behind it.
Super. Is Silver's, so David Silver has not only a course and videos, but he also has a book?
No, David Silver's, he just has the course, but the course he essentially is based on Rich Sutton's book, I would say, most of it, and obviously some of the work that they've done at DeepMind.
Okay, and so then the book you were talking about, the 2nd edition, that's the Sutton and Bartow?
Yeah, so I think Sutton and Bartow's 2nd edition had not come out. It was still available online, and that's what David Silver keeps referring back to in his course. But the first version of the book, which came like in the 90s, right? If I remember right, that obviously at the time they didn't have much of deep RL at all.
Okay, so yeah, the one we're looking at, which is freely online, is the 2nd edition, and it's 2018. So that's good. Okay, well, welcome. And again, I'm glad to have another person who's knowledgeable about RL. That's great.
Semi-knowledgeable, I would say.
Well, compared to many of us, I would say. Let's see. So we have heard from Swaroop.
Hey, so I'm Swaroop. I'm from India. So currently I'm working as a ML engineer so it's basically a construction company, but we also do medical devices. So like we're trying to apply ML to some use cases in radiology. So that's why I'm here.
Sorry, use cases in what?
Radiology. So basically the main problem is to detect these abnormalities on X-rays, but we also want to extract information from reports, medical reports. And what I'm thinking is RL will really help with that. And I just want to learn.
So you're interested in the medical applications of RL then, or of machine learning?
Yes. Yeah.
Terrific. Okay, thanks, Swaroop, and welcome. Let's see, Al Gone.
That's Alvaro.
How do you say it?
Alvaro.
Alvaro. Oh, okay.
Alvaro.
So you're Alvaro. I know you then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same, Alvaro.
Okay. Hi.
And I work as data engineer, a classical data engineer. So I don't have a machine learning background, but I try to learn some because it might come soon in my work also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. Welcome. So I think we've been through. Has anyone not spoken yet? Looks like we've gotten through everyone.
Yeah, and a few people dropped already.
Yeah. So I'll just introduce myself then. I'm Joseph, and I'm right now teaching machine learning, teaching data science at a college it's an online school called Make School. And so we don't have a reinforcement learning course, but right now I'm teaching a projects class where people are putting together portfolio projects, and a couple of my students are actually wanting to do a reinforcement learning project. So that sort of gives me a kick in the pants to to learn something about it because I really right now don't know anything about it. And I want to be able to guide these students in their projects. So that's my reason for being here. Okay, I think I think we don't have any more business for today. We're just sort of get to know each other and learn what the structure of the course is. So now we're going to have like reading each, one chapter or part of a chapter in between Sundays, and then we'll spend more time on Sunday to have reading time because not everyone has the discipline or the time during the week to do it. And then so the first hour of every meeting will be silent reading, and then the second hour will be a discussion. And that's how we'll go forward. So next Sunday we'll start with chapter 1. And we don't have people to lead the discussions, and that's okay if we end up with a discussion without a leader. We'll just all discuss it back and forth. That has worked for us in the past, where everybody just says, we just go around the room and people make comments or ask questions about parts of the text that they haven't understood, or maybe they want to talk about parts of the text that they have understood and help others to understand it. That can work well. So I'm not particularly worried to see that we don't have a leader, but anybody that wants to lead it is welcome to. But we'll be fine if no one steps up. Any other comments or questions or announcements?
Hi.
Pete.
Yeah. Hi. So I was wondering, some of the chapters, they have a few methods or problems that are discussed. Will there be much maybe separate time or work done to actually implement these in, say, some programming language? Or is this more just kind of reading the theory?
Yeah, I hear you, and I think it would be, not all of us are going to have time to do that, but however, if anybody wanted to organize an extra meeting which would talk about homework, each week could meet and talk about some of the problems that were found at the end of the chapters and go through them, that would be fine. And some of us would be able to.
Hello. Sorry.
Hi, Anu. Hi.
Yeah, I have implementations for some of them. I can share as we go.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, it's terrific. Yeah. Let's see. I see. So Pete, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I think the biggest problem was on my end, where I couldn't find problems at the end of each chapter, but then I managed to stumble across an exercise. So I was just wondering what this book was, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that it would be great to have a practical section of the study group too. And if anybody wants to organize it, on another day of the week or something, or like a 1 hour a week for that, that would be great. Some of us might have time to do it. But to your original question, the plan was just to go through the text and read it and try to understand as best we could. And but we weren't going to formally look at the problems.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, that's good to know.
Okay, great. And I see one more person, Farbod, who just joined. So I want to include you. And we went around the room, Farbod, and everybody talked about their background and what their interest was in reinforcement learning. And we just finished that. And then I see that you've joined. So why don't you go ahead and take your turn?
Hi, yeah, nice to meet you all. Sorry for actually joining a bit late. Yeah, I was actually, in general, I'm interested in reinforcement learning. So it was just nice to see a study group going on. I actually previously, I think maybe read and did the assignments for the first 3 or 4 chapters of the book, about I don't know, 6 or 9 months ago. So I thought that no, this would be a good chance actually to maybe pick up where I left it, and then maybe this time actually learn a bit more about reinforcement learning.
Terrific. So welcome. And this is basically going to be, what we're trying to provide here is an infrastructure for people who want to learn this material, and then we'll just be here every week to discuss it and read it with you. So that you're not doing it on your own. I think somehow that helps because it's easy to get excited about something and then stay with it for a couple of weeks and then just move on to something else. But when you have this group structure in place, it really helps. It really helps you to organize yourself around this thing. So I'm excited for what we're going to do going forward, and thank everybody for coming. And we'll see you next Sunday at 10.
All right,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you, guys. See you.
Bye-bye.